Will is a typical teenage boy. He loves cars, he loves music, he loves to play with his friends, he loves to ride bikes, loves sports. I have an old car. We take the old car out, and he loves my music, AC/DC and rock and roll music.
We were on vacation last summer. He tested positive for COVID. We had been passing COVID around the family earlier the month before, and so I didn't think anything of it. He just had your typical COVID symptoms.
At a certain point, we ended up going to the emergency room because we just needed this to be cared for a little bit more. But we were convinced it was COVID, and it didn't take long that evening for us to find out through blood tests that they suspected that in addition to COVID, that he had acute myeloid leukemia.
Most patients, they get their diagnosis, they get their first cycle of chemo, they're in the hospital for about a month, and then they go home and they come back about a week later to get the next cycle. Will was really sick. Coming into his diagnosis, already had an autoimmune disease of his liver.
He was very susceptible to infection, obviously, so he picked up some fungal infection that he ended up having 3 surgeries for there to clean out his sinus. He was intubated for 10 or 12 days. So when we first were admitted in July, we were given the option to enroll for a study that was being done at Children's. We signed up and luckily we got in.
So the trial that he was a part of was to see if we could decrease side effects of chemotherapy, but put into a certain delivery method where it should not affect like his liver and other organs and just target his bone marrow. So Will was a part of that study. Him getting that study drug, Vyxeos, is really how we were able to keep him getting chemotherapy, not missing chemotherapy, and getting into remission after only 1 cycle of chemotherapy, which is always our goal. So I think it worked really well for him.
It pretty quickly, you had to just trust that Dr. Ferris had strategies, and those strategies were working.
During therapy, I guess I said I wanted to be done by Gatorade, like I won the Super Bowl. It meant a lot to me, knowing that I felt like I could do anything after I beat cancer.
He's 15 years old, he's almost 16 years old. He's gonna learn to drive, he's gonna be able to go back to school full time. I want him to be able to go to college or do whatever he wants to do.
I don't know what I want to do when I want to grow up, but I want to be able to help people when I grow up.
Getting those different medications and having her monitor his progress and his case for all these months has been, I think, really crucial to his recovery and to him doing so well on chemo in the long run.
The doctors and the nurses are so incredibly dedicated. You can just feel how much they care for your kid and for you. That was the #1 takeaway for me, is just having that group of people to help us go through this.
Being able to help other people who so they won't have to go through what I went through means a lot.